John, why don't you talk a little bit, John Blouch, Ethos Homes. He does a lot of energy efficiency work, and he also does build houses and engineer by training.
It's interesting because I actually end up talking to a lot of people about green and energy and stuff that are in a lower economic group than a lot of what we've been talking about, and I bridge up to that. Well, it seems I'm not. Well, what we do is we do everything from basically custom homes, but some of them are even in the sub $300,000 range, homes. So a lot of tight budgets. Some of these projects and all try to juggle this up into some nicer ones. I also do basically energy audits, weatherization type work. So as I come into a house, I probably go into 50 to 70 houses a year. Spend 3 hours inspecting the house, doing reports, meeting with these homeowners, and a lot of them range from very low income up to some that are in higher income brackets. So I get a wide range of homes and people and interests in doing this. And then I do the audits, and we do a lot of insulation, weatherization work to upgrade houses, and some get New York funding to help get the work done, and some's more commercial rate type work. But I find that, especially in the construction side, the people I'm dealing with are either younger people, their first homes, they're upper 20s, 30s, sort of starting off. They're environmentally concerned, but income is still growing. Or I'm seeing sort of downsizing people who have the big houses, the kids are out of there, they've been dumping all this money into their homes, and they want something a little simpler, a little smaller, and nice, and to sort of move on. They're all fairly motivated in terms of green or these areas, but I'm looking at it a little bit differently. But I don't see a lot in the middle. And with the energy audits, I see more of a range, but still it tends to be a little bit on those ends. Once people are getting to the kids in the big suburban area, they just sort of seem to run along and probably, like I do, deal with day-to-day issues rather than look at the bigger picture. But those are sort of the customers I see. Sort of on the energy auditing side, a lot of people come in concerned about financial issues. They get those National Grid letters saying that you're worse than 90% of your neighbors. And they're all like upset about this. How could it be? I just put new windows in or something. And so a lot of people come in there and the discussion starts there. A smaller set are concerned more about environmental stuff, their kids, some health concerns. And some of those homes do have serious, health concerns and asbestos and lead paint and other issues and carbon monoxide issues from heating systems and all. But then a lot of the work that gets done, people sort of come from focusing just on the money to looking at a little bit the bigger picture and comfort and some of the other benefits of green building. So to me, green building or efficient building or some sustainable building is a whole spectrum of things potentially and for everybody it's different. But it usually ends up when action is taken, I think it's a combination of financial, but more than that, comfort, health, or something else to sort of drive it along too. Because a lot of times construction is expensive, so no one's going to build a new house just to save money on their heating bills. But they want to build a new house, they want to save money too, but it's sort of the whole thing sort of needs to come together a bit. In terms of costs, I do definitely work in a cost-constrained area a lot, and you can build, green, energy efficient in a cost-effective manner, but you have to be willing to have some dialogue in terms of design and what goes in, and sometimes maybe phasing things like leave that screen porch and stuff off for later and focus on the house and simplify the plan a little bit. So there's definitely a lot of back and forth, I think, from original plans to sort of the final plans that we're building, trying to work those issues together. And I guess, like what Karen was saying too, the other thing with the cost is a lot of times when you're building a green home, you're looking at a higher level finish to begin with. So I don't know, you say you can't compete. You can't compete with a laminate countertop, but a lot of your solid countertops are competitive with granite or some stones and other materials out there.
Remodeling, when they're renovating, they're already raising the bar. They're already going in intending to upgrade. So
versus new construction, I've already spent enough.
But I get a lot of people say I don't like carpets, and so it's not like it's an upgrade to get a solid flooring surface to be green.
Right.
They're already sort of looking in there, and yes, it pushes the budget, and we had to find a way to fit it in still.
But I can compete on certain in certain areas much easier than I can,
And the paints too. I mean, with the premium paint, you're competitive. Is this when you're going to builder's grade paint versus your paints? There's a big difference.
All right, so now my panel is turned inward. That's not.
But-
control.
I think
okay.
a good summary would be that there's a broad definition of green, and it means different things to different people. And so, one of the most important things is to identify with your client what it is that's their value, what's their core values, and how does their core values sync up with those green aspects. And I think, Tim, you mentioned that what does it mean for you?
I was supposed to say that.